Hello, and welcome to the mini concert at First Presbyterian Church. I will be playing, my name is Adriana Park, and I will be playing Tempo Diminuendo by Fritz Kreisler. Kreisler was an Austrian-born violinist and composer, one of the most noted violin masters of his day, and he was regarded as one of the greatest violinists of all time. He was known for his sweet tone and expressive phrasing. He was born in Vienna, and he studied at the Vienna Conservatory and also in Paris. While in Paris, he won the Premier Grand Prix de Rome gold medal at the age of 12, competing against 40 other players, all of whom were at least 20 years of age. He made his United States debut at Steinway Hall in New York City on November 10, 1888, and his first tour of the United States that same year. He then returned to Austria and applied for a position in the Vienna Philharmonic, but sadly was turned down by the concertmaster. As a result, he left music to study medicine. He spent a brief time in the army before returning to the violin in 1899, when he gave a concert with the Berlin Philharmonic. It was at this concert and a series of American tours from 1901 to 1903 that brought him the real acclaim.
is Laura Norris, and I'm going to be playing the Romance from Wieniawski's Second Violin Concerto. And much like Kreisler, Wieniawski was a little bit younger than him, but he was coined as redefining virtuosity on the violin, with all the elements that he added and the different techniques that he used. And he was also a violinist himself. And this concerto is one of his most famous and beloved pieces.
For our next piece, we are going to be playing the Bach Double, which I'm sure you probably have heard of, and it's for 2 violins and string orchestra, but it will be for 2 violins and piano. Actually, it's originally written for 2 solo violins, harpsichord, so get your harpsichord out, and strings. Bach took up his position as music director at Thomas Schule in Leipzig in 1723. But they considered Bach to be a mediocrity, and the town council hired him reluctantly, and after their 2 preferred candidates dropped out. How about that? As the most prominent musical figure in the city, his duties were many, and his productivity, especially for the church in those early days, was astounding. During his first 2 years there, he composed a new cantata for each Sunday service and religious festival, and 2 full cycles of incredible grace and complexity. On top of this, he oversaw the training of 4 choirs, gave constant voice and instrumental lessons, provided music for various city events, and served as music director at the university. We're slacking a little bit. By early 1729, Bach had completed 2 additional complete cantata cycles and may have felt the desire to turn his compositional energies in a different direction. That same year, he took over director of Leipzig's renowned Collegium Musicum, and that was a mix of professional and university musicians to give weekly concerts at 2 coffee houses in the city. This new position afforded Bach the opportunity to expand his secular music output. It is likely that many of the concertos date from this time, the secular ones. The well-known double violin concerto was probably composed for performance at one of these Collegium Musicum events, though some scholars believe that it might have been adapted from an earlier work for its Leipzig debut. And if you didn't know this, this is my daughter Laura, and so we are going to play together the first 2 movements of the Bach Double, and they are Vivace and Largo.
Thank you so much for coming. We hope you enjoyed our time of music, and we hope you'll continue to listen to them every Tuesday.